Hi, this is Ryan Vaz, dreamer, innovator, and serial entrepreneur. And along with PBN Bharat, we have started this program called Start Young, Dream Big. And the whole idea behind this is to encourage youngsters to look at entrepreneurship as a career option, an area where they can truly grow big. Today we have a guest with us, Elria Fernandes. Elria is more than just a multimedia student. She is a recognized leader on campus and a growing name in the Goan creative scene. In 2023, she was selected for as a elite leadership role at Chogle College, a testament to her drive beyond the classroom. She also won the first place as in the best manager category at the Explorator event, proving that she has the business brains to match her artistic eye. Her photography business, L Captures Goa, is built on the philosophy of feeling seen. Rather than focusing on stiff posed photographs, Elria specializes in candid storytelling. Her portfolio ranges from high energy events like the All Goa Zumba event to intimate portraits for young professionals and small businesses. She has successfully turned a 6-month venture into a recognized brand by focusing on authenticity and making her subjects feel comfortable behind the lens. Welcome, Elria, to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Elria, very quickly we mentioned that you are a recognized leader on campus, but I think there is a lot more behind that. Can you tell us about your leadership roles in school, college?
Yeah.
What have you been doing?
So I started with my school, that is St. Teresa's High School. I was a leader in the council there for like 2 years, like my 9th standard and the 10th standard. Then further on, I came to Don Bosco's Pen Gym. There I was a theatre club leader. Then I came to Chogle's, and Chogle's happened post-lockdown.
Right.
So that is when I thought like, okay, this can go a step higher. And I happened to be the GS of Chogle's
Wow.
for 1 year.
Mhm.
And in the final year, I was the department in charge. So that is where it all started.
So you've been a natural leader right from the beginning. Why photography? Why did you enter into this field of photography?
So I have this thing, like I like visual storytelling. I like to like capture things and keep as memories, like freezing time. Time and tide waits for none, right?
Right.
So when you freeze memories,
So is that your tagline?
It is not,
But you can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Carry on.
So time and tide waits for none. So whenever you freeze a moment, like tomorrow when a client looks back at it, he's like, okay, this is something that happened at time. So you get a full flashback of that particular event or that time, and that is like something you can cherish forever.
Right.
So I like doing it for others as well as for myself. So I capture for myself as well as for others.
And when did you look at it as an entrepreneurship? I mean, a lot of people would have looked at it. I mean, even I click photographs. So many people click photographs. And we do it just, for our own gratification. But when did you look at it as a career option? How did you start that?
So what happened was I dropped out of MSW. I was doing
What is MSW?
masters in social work.
Okay.
So I felt I couldn't find myself in that course. So that is
Nice.
why when I dropped the
Nice.
course, and my parents were supportive enough to let me do it. And soon I thought to join a multimedia course in Chogle's. So when I entered like back to my college, and I used to always get mesmerized by cameras or phones,
Oh, really?
people clicking photos. Even in school, I used to be the person who always would have a teacher's phone and clicking pictures of any programs or assemblies, and that is how it all started. So I was like, when my parents asked me like, what do you want to pursue further, like you dropped out of here, what do you want to do? And that is when I was like, I can do this as a profession. Like this can be my profession, this can be my identity. So that is where it all started.
So I want to dig a little bit deep into something that you mentioned in passing.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you dropped off from something.
Yeah.
Your parents supported you.
Yeah.
And then you went on into multimedia. This is a challenge which lot of youngsters face. Number one is after they have put in 1 or 2 years, they are unable to, they don't want to change because they've already put in 2 years.
Yeah,
Another 1 year,
true.
another 2 years, and they'll be done. What should we do? Secondly, if they want to change also, very often the parents do not support.
Yeah.
And then third is having the strength to go for another field, because both the parents' question as well as the question in your own mind will be, what if this one is also wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you help us understand what was the decision making process that went into you stepping back from one field, taking a drop from social media, social welfare,
Social work. Yeah.
from social work, and then taking that step into
So social work, the course that I was doing, it was a master's degree. So dropping off from a master's degree is obviously coming one step lower
Below.
after putting 1 full year into it. But then I couldn't find myself there. Like that was not what I'm identified of. And very often I kept telling my parents, I am someone who doesn't want to do a job sitting in one place. I like to move about. I like to organize, plan, capture. So that is how I tried to convince them. They were skeptical for a bit, obviously, but then they were very supportive enough. They let me do this, and over the course, like the thinking process was. First of all, I was confused for a bit, but then I sat in one place, like just reflecting about how good I was at things, how I can, like, my leisure can be my profession. So that is how it
Nice.
all started, and that is what
Nice.
let me decide that this is what I want to do in future. Yeah.
So rather than just following the path which everybody follows and like sheep, rather than going that, you had to actually stop back, rethink about your career choices, and then take into something that you love. And this is something that I tell a lot of people, is to identify what is it that you're good at, what is it that you love, what is it that people want to pay, are willing to pay
Yeah.
for, and use that as your career. Choose that as your career. And I think knowingly, unknowingly, by the way, that's called ikigai. And knowingly, unknowingly, you have
Yeah.
followed that. Very good, Elria. In fact, I would say congratulations to you, because not many people, unfortunately,
Yeah.
not many people are able to make this choice. You mentioned in your introduction that your brand is built on the concept or on the philosophy of feeling seen. You want to capture the soul of the person
Yeah.
during in your pictures.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
So it is one thing that is most important is you need to be in that moment. You need to, like, suppose you're shooting a wedding, you need to be into that wedding. You should treat the clients as your own people. So when you try to put yourself in that is when you actually find the essence of the situation or anything in that sort.
Nice, very
And
nice.
you don't let your clients pretend. Okay, you try to capture as many as raw pictures as possible, and tomorrow when you go back, you realize that is more precious.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But today, most of the people, as soon as they see the camera, they have the smiles all set.
Yeah.
So, how do you ask them to be natural?
So first of all, before we start shooting, I make sure we are comfortable with the client. Like, I let them be in their own space, no forcing, no time restrictions, nothing. And that is how we, like, build a rapport between the two of us, and that is what makes people more comfortable to be themselves, and like cracking few jokes in between, or being a part of a conversation, asking them questions that would make them laugh, and that is how we build a rapport.
Nice. So from what you're telling me, I'm understanding this is more like of a studio shoot.
No, this is more about like events or like occasion that go on continuously. Like there's no break. You can't pretend in these places. Yeah.
Uh, what is your strength? I mean, where do you see, which areas do you see yourself focusing on? I mean, I have photographers that do only weddings, and some of them focus only on fashion photography. Some of
Yeah.
them focus only on food. Where do you see yourself?
Right now, as I'm learning as well, so right now I see myself into events and more mega projects like capturing raw moments. But further on, I choose to explore cinematography as well.
Okay, in what way cinematography?
Cinematography, in the sense, might be I want to get into movies.
Shooting
If-
movies.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you check whether you need to do some course or workshop to reach there?
Yes, I did now as well. Which the course which I'm doing, multimedia, also offers that.
I see.
So I'm learning a lot of things right now. So yeah.
So maybe you'll be behind the camera for one of the movies that we're going to watch in a few years from now.
Let's hope for the best.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. What's the scariest part of starting a business while in college?
Scariest part is like time management. Then sometimes there are nights that are sleepless. You need to edit pictures. You need to keep your gear ready for the next day. And sometimes here and there there's competition as well. But then healthy competition is a good thing. So yeah.
How do you deal with competition?
I would say like no two photographers have the same mind. Every person's visual is different, so you can't compare two people. So I never like compare my pictures with another photographer.
Interesting.
Everyone has their own perspective. So competition is good, but then I don't consider someone a competition. It's just like a journey.
So photographer is not just clicking photographs. He's an artist by themselves.
Definitely.
And your competency is defined by your perspective, the way that you're able to see the world.
Yes.
So how do you manage to see the world differently? What is different that you look
I
through your lens?
Through my lens, or even the way I visualize things, I make sure there is essence of natural beauty in whatever I see or whatever. I don't let things pretend. I don't like artificial things. I let my essence be natural.
Okay, and then normally photographers put a lot of lighting, artificial lights. You don't use those, or you use those.
Certain places, like certain events, like when there's low lighting, I have to use lights, but then I make sure it's not like clearly visible. It looks natural enough to give it the natural essence.
What was the most memorable event you did?
Memorable event would definitely be the Love Move Glow Zumba event that recently happened.
Okay.
It was an event for all Zumba instructors all over Goa. So
Okay.
that was a really good event. It was fun, and like you had to run about. It was moving all the time. People were dancing, so you had to capture them in their essence. So that was
Right.
fun.
So was it a big event? Where did it happen?
It happened in Fatorda near Don Bosco's futsal ground.
Okay, and how did you get this? In fact, here's a larger question. How do you get your clients?
So I get most of my clients through seeing my profile on Insta or even my referrals.
Okay.
There are friends who refer to me, and that is how I get people.
A lot of people look at photography as just clicking pictures, but we've had a guest before also on the show, and she also spoke about how it is more than just clicking pictures. There is besides that is planning for it, understanding what goes behind the scene,
Yeah.
and then also the post processing that happens.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about the journey? What goes into a picture?
So
What goes into a photograph?
First of all, I would say the most important thing that goes into a picture is your hard work and passion. So
Okay.
unless and until you're passionate, you wouldn't get the perfect picture. I would say anybody can click a picture, but then to click a perfect picture, you need to put your efforts and passion in it. You need to be in the moment, feel the moment with the people around you. And yeah, a lot of work goes before the event and after as well. Post processing takes a lot of time. Then before event, we need to keep our gears ready. So yeah.
Elria, there's a curious question that I have in mind. I'm not sure whether you are aware of this, but there are some really specialist photographers in Goa, and I've had the fortune of meeting one guy who told me that he has done some shoots for hotels out of the country. Okay, and he's charged even up to 40 lakhs for one photograph, which of course then they go on billboards and all. What differentiates between what you do and what people like these do? How do you reach to that level?
Basically, you reach there through experience, your hard work. So nowadays, recognition is more important. Unless and until you are recognized, you don't reach to a height. Especially social media gives recognition. If it gives you, it boosts you up like crazy.
Right.
So yeah, recognition.
A lot of people are clicking photographs on social media.
True.
It is flooded with photographs.
Yeah.
How do you make yours stand out?
Mine stands out through the way I capture things, like the way I capture elements or whatever, and I make sure my picture tells a story rather than the captions.
Who's your mentor?
Mentor, I would say I'm more of a self-taught person, but then I have my support system like my parents, my teachers, my friends. They are always very supportive towards my work, and they give me healthy criticism, and that is something really good.
Okay.
That helps me grow and improve myself.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your parents.
My mom is a homemaker, my father is a seafarer, and we come from Santistev. That's an island in like close to Old Goa in the north.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you study in Choglis.
I study.
How do
in
you do
Chogli.
that travel?
So I stay in the south, like at
You
my
stay.
relative's place. Yeah.
All right. And what do you think would be your best client,
My best client
or how do you get out to your best client?
isn't from my way, or
Yeah. What would it be? I mean, what kind of client you would be very satisfied working with?
okay, I'd be satisfied working with clients that are like cooperative. Like whenever we as photographers, we arrive early on time, we leave the event. So it is like the photographers are the people who arrive at the venue
first to
first
reach,
and the last to
last
leave.
to leave.
So when that happens, it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of presence of mind. So whenever the client sees that this person is actually putting efforts and tries to cooperate a bit in whatever way possible, I would say that is the best client.
So a considerate client is the best client.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
definitely.
sometimes it can be quite challenging.
True.
Right. One of your most scariest shoots.
My scariest shoot was a wedding that I did recently, a destination wedding. So I was just told that they need one photographer, but I was not told whether there's more photographers and videographers. There were videographers, but I was the only photographer. So I had to manage between functions of two people simultaneously.
Wow.
So like if a haldi ceremony is happening on this side and this side, I had to manage both.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How did you manage that?
I managed, like I was very fast with my shots.
Okay. Elria, very nice talking to you.
Thank you so
A lot of
much.
insights, not just as a photographer, but as a leader,
Yeah.
as a thought leader, I would say, because it's that mindset that we're trying to look out.
Yeah.
I was telling a group of people that you can take a horse to the water, you cannot make
Yeah.
them drink. It
True.
is not the infrastructure that makes a business person,
Yeah.
but the mindset that makes a
True.
business person. And from my conversation with you, that kind of mindset is coming out. That you've always wanted to be a leader. Always wanted to choose what satisfies you, what
Yeah.
makes you, what gratifies you, and then also helps you to earn.
Yeah.
And very interesting conversation that we've had with you. Thank you very much for coming on this
Thank
show.
you
We
so
wish
much.
you all the very best in your future, and we hope that one day you come on the level of those photographers who are, like I said, charging 40 lakhs for a shoot, or maybe at the back of a movie that we are all going to be enjoying.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me.
Congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.